Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Unitas, Caritas, and UCTV. We are here live at Immaculata High School, Theo Riddick Field, for the start of the Immaculata North Brunswick girls lacrosse game. This is our first lacrosse game for girls that we are featuring so far. We have now completed the quadfecta, I think, of 4 sports here in the spring season. We're just about ready to go here. So, give you a little background on both these teams so far. Immaculata girls lacrosse is led by head coach Josh Horta. They are 4-8 on the season, 4-5 in the Skyland Valley Conference, going off against the North Brunswick Raiders. Their head coach today is Danielle Porzio. They boast an 8-7 record, 1-5 in the GMC Red Conference. Immaculata, in their last few games, are 2-1 in their last 3 games. They have beaten both Gill St. Bernard's and St. Peter's and Rutgers Prep twice this season. That's where their 4 wins come from. And unfortunately, they fell 14-4 against Somerville in the first round of the Somerset County Tournament last game. Immaculata's going to look to bounce back here, as they do have a few more games on the schedule coming up. Going to look to improve that record, hopefully to a 500 mark. As for North Brunswick, they just had a 3-game win streak capped off by a hard 8-7 loss versus Homedale the other day. And they pick up a game here against Immaculata in preparation for their Thursday game against Sayreville in the quarterfinal round of the Greater Middlesex Conference Tournament. So as we've gotten to that point, we will get you back to some specifics on the game action. 0-0 so far here in the first quarter. Not too much going on so far. The weather, as you can see, is very much overcast, and there is a decent amount of rain going on so far. Part of that rain you probably could be hearing picked up on our field mic, so you'll know exactly how hard it sounds. And let me tell you, folks, we've had some great weather so far. It's been quite warm. Been getting out on the golf course myself personally. It's been quite nice, but it is a different level of chilly today, especially with the rain. So, a lot of these girls are out here in shorts and T-shirts, and, at this point could not be me. So, as they brave out the conditions, Immaculata and North Brunswick going to look to make something happen here moving forward at Theo Riddick Field. North Brunswick, if you haven't figured it out yet, I was figuring it out during my opening monologue, but North Brunswick in white, Immaculata in blue. North Brunswick working in on the goalie and shoots that one away. No good. Lada is going to take over possession out behind their own net. We're going to go off once again. Our broadcast booth is actually indoors behind the North Brunswick goalie net. We're not on the sidelines due to the inclement weather and all the wonderful equipment that we've attained from UCTV and Unitas Caritas needs to be properly maintained, so we are fine out of the elements. But I will say it does make finding some of the players a bit difficult by number, so like always we're going to do our best chance to do all that.
Comera la mia amica Italia.
All right, so Patrick.
I just asked you, how is Italy, my friend?
Yeah, well, this is the first time I think I've shared a booth since that, and probably one of the only
And look at that
this entire season.
What do we have here, Jacob? Looks like the shot was good, but looks like the whistle blew before. We're waiting on this call.
I will say this too. I'm not gonna lie.
Got a penalty shot, Jacob. Free shot.
Yeah. I was a little thrown off by the fact you just mentioned. The referees are in they're in weather jackets in all black. So I did not see the black and white referee stripes. That caught me a little off guard.
They definitely prepared for the elements out here today.
Yeah, I mean it is quite the contrast. It's between the girls on the field versus the referees. I'm surprised they don't have like referee jackets like that. As Immaculata had a free penalty shot there. That was number 6, Olivia Marino, the junior for Immaculata. And, like always, we'll call him as we see him as we get throughout the course of this game.
Yeah, first real opportunity there for the Immaculata Spartans, and a good save there by the North Brunswick keeper on that free shot. I mean, trying to go through 5-hole there, and stick was there and made a good save.
You always play soccer in the park with your buddies, and you play World Cup and whatnot, and you're taking penalty
coming
kicks.
this year too, World Cup to the USA.
Yeah.
This summer.
Mm-hmm.
This summer or next summer? 2026. I got ahead of myself. Sorry.
Yeah. You're just too excited. The World Cup parlayed with the bicentennial anniversary.
Yeah, North Brunswick scores there, and they get on the board 1-0 against Immaculata Spartans. As we were talking about the World Cup, North Brunswick strikes first.
Yep, North Brunswick gets on scoreboard first, 1-0. We're going to go back to midfield for the face-off. Looks like, let's see if we can enlarge the image on here. All right, makes it a little easier. Looks like the main face-off player for the Spartans is number 14, Victoria Millick, the sophomore. And if you take a little bit of notice, the girls and boys lacrosse face-offs are different. Number 1, the boys face-off, the ball is on the ground, and they trap the ball, or at least both the defenders try to trap the ball with the back of their stick and kind of roll it back to their team, kind of like a jump ball. There, for girls lacrosse, they keep it in between their sticks at midfield, and like it pops up in the air. So it's very different contrast. And another huge thing, which is just very, very insane about the whole like lacrosse ordeal, is that the boys, they have some very, very fine helmets, and the girls just wear eyewear. So it's very interesting how different the two games are as far as equipment
I feel
goes.
very educated after that seminar. My knowledge from lacrosse is very limited compared to other sports. Pretty basic, but I understand what's going on. And you brought up a good point. The biggest contrast and difference between boys and girls lacrosse is definitely the face mask and how the boys wear that big helmet and the girls only wear the goggles. Just shows that the girls are tough out there. And let's hope Immaculata Spartans can get one on the board and tie this game up, because really a quiet first period from both teams, and let's see if we can pick up the scoring.
Yeah, just to make another point about the headgear, I went to college and had a friend there whose family started kind of at least around here too, started the revolution of making some of the first headgear for women's lacrosse, as Immaculata evens up the score here in the first quarter, 1-1 with 4 minutes 14 seconds to play.
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt your story here, but great Immaculata goal getting on board, as I was saying. I know our viewers might be hearing the rain as it's showing that it's picking up right now. That is not a fireplace opening Christmas presents on your TV. That is the rain here at Theo Riddick Field. It's starting to come down now, and we're nice and indoors broadcasting this game, so it won't be affecting us, but got a 1-1 game.
You're right. I was a little bit confused. I thought you had the Christmas U-Log on behind us, but it is, in fact, just the rain on the microphone. So thank you for that important distinction. But, yeah, you can take a look at the face-off here. They press the stick next to the ball and just shoot it up in the air. It's a very, very interesting dynamic as opposed to the boys' game. But I'll get back on the soliloquy trail for a moment, but there is a wave of headgear that has been trying to make its way into the girls lacrosse scene. Doesn't seem it has reached Theo Riddick Field yet, but don't be surprised to see over time as that game evolves.
That was a weird save there. The Immaculata goalie didn't know where it was and was right under her. She checked the back of the net to see if it went in, and that was kind of rare. came out. Immaculata got a little lucky there.
Yeah, little bounce shot right there, scooped up by the Immaculata goalie. Good on that. That is number 99, Maeve Runyon. Number 99 is a pretty sick number, I'll tell you that much. As Immaculata pressing forward on offense again, deep in the North Brunswick territory. Just under 3 minutes to play. Immaculata gets that one poke checked out. That one's on the ground again. A little bit of jockeying. Referee's going to make a call. Give that one outright to North Brunswick. It's going to be a bit more difficult to hear some of the calls from back here, but nevertheless, you know, it's probably in the best interest to try and make a point about what we're trying to listen into.
Yeah, awesome job going coast to coast there for North Brunswick, scoring, getting one past Runyon. 2-1 here, North Brunswick. That was a take-it-yourself moment right there from North Brunswick.
Yeah, a little bit of early charge going on with the scoring here. 2-1. Still got a little bit over 2 minutes to play in this first quarter.
Definitely it is the hot lacrosse season with the lacrosse national championships coming up on I think it's Memorial Day weekend they have them. And that's really the one of the only places where I was watching lacrosse is during the Memorial Day weekend and seeing all those teams play. My Rutgers are out of it right now. We got tossed in the Big Ten playoffs, but there's a couple good teams still in there. I think Richmond's still in there. Boys lacrosse, men's lacrosse, where our own Cole Hayden's going. So
yeah.
Pretty cool story there.
Definitely was not familiar with how Rutgers has fared in the tournament, but you did make a good point about Richmond lacrosse. I do see Cole actively posting about that. So, yeah, I think Richmond just recently beat UNC. I saw, so that was
yeah,
pretty
I saw
interesting.
that. Good win there for the Spiders.
Yeah.
As our second camera angle has come in. Look at that, Jacob.
Oh, wow. We are cooking with gas now.
Now Patrick can be a little producer here, switching camera feeds. So that's me at home. If you're ever getting mad at the camera feeds being switched or want to compliment them, that's me.
pfranz23@gmail.com. Send in your tips and tricks.
I wouldn't go there with email information, but if someone wants to leave a nice comment, I'm acceptable to nice comments. So
hey, you put that up on the screen during basketball season. We're going to keep the train rolling, even though we don't got the graphic up.
We got another stoppage here.
Yeah. I know we have the clock running at around 35 seconds, but looks like we're settled in for a timeout here. We have 1 minute and 23 seconds left to play in the first quarter. So we will be back with. Yeah,
nope, we're not. We're gonna stay right here.
Okay.
So we want to hear about your Italy trip. So Jacob, from what I'm told, had to leave the UCTV team for about a week, and he had to make a trip to Italy and be around that area when the Pope's funeral was going on. How was that?
Well, first off, I'll just say that being this is a Catholic school and whatnot, this is a Jubilee year for the Catholic Church. That happens every 25 years. So this is one of those 25 years. One of the specifics of that is at different basilicas out in Rome, they open the holy doors, which are only open during Jubilee years. And I think a big part of it generally revolves around the fact that it's a time for practicing members of the faith to take, quote unquote, a pilgrimage to the land. So the Pope's passing and my trip to Italy was completely. I
think it was somewhat linked that you were there when all that was happening. You randomly were going.
These are some distasteful allegations that are going over the air right now.
Not allegations, more along the lines of something drew you there.
Well, let me say I was driving to the airport that morning, and my phone was uncannily blowing up at an early hour, and I could only reasonably assume that it was either for something work-related that was important or some big news dropped. And, obviously the news of Pope Francis's passing was dropped, and considering someone that's like myself that has never like gone out of the country, other than like some Caribbean islands. It was like just a shock that it's like the first time I actually decided to travel out there. Something monumental like that just happens to occur.
It probably the most monumental thing happened in Italy too.
Yeah. Well, I will say this though. On my flight was like maybe 80% booked when I looked at it the night before. And
another coast-to-coast take by the Spartans. Oh, yeah. Gets on the board 2-2. Immaculata ties it.
That was number 2, Karina Sandborg on the goal. The sophomore from Immaculata equalizes the game in the first quarter with 1 minute and 7 seconds left to go.
Another take-it-yourself goal from her. North Brunswick did it, and Immaculata strikes back the same way.
Yeah, this is where my depth and knowledge of the nuances of the sport gets a little bit frayed, because I think just you could tell from early on the boys' game, ushers in a lot more physicality and stick checking. So I think the girls' game plays a more of a in like a basketball-like approach where you can kind of flush out your offensive player, but you can't necessarily pancake block them. I know we're sitting right next to Coach Colombo's office, but I don't think there's gonna be any football-like prospect plays going on here. But Immaculata once again threatening in North Brunswick's zone with about 30 seconds left to go. Immaculata trying to run some plays behind the net.
Got a stoppage there.
Yeah.
A little confusion on the field to what that call was.
I think they felt that there was an illegal hit to the head area on the Immaculata player, and they gave it to North Brunswick. So 3 seconds left, and they're not going to get a shot off here at the end of the first quarter, and that keeps it tied at 2-2. Reached the end of the first quarter here at Theo Riddick Field. We'll take this break in the action to give a quick shout out to the Unitas Caritas Foundation. The Unitas Caritas Foundation was started in 2018 by a group of proud Spartan alumni that were dedicated to preserving the proud Spartan tradition. Unitas Caritas helps with a number of things in and out of the school. They help with various capital improvements, they do scholarships for students, and they also help provide UCTV live broadcasting for all Immaculata sports. So, in that manner, if you would like to join the club, please join us over at www.unitascaritas.com. Click and select the featured link, Join the Club. All it takes is a $19.66 monthly donation to help keep the Spartan tradition alive. The monthly donation is not your thing. We also have opportunities to do one-time donations. Every dollar is appreciated, every view is appreciated, and every thank you Pat and I get is very much important. And Pat accidentally clicks the music soundboard there.
But I think the music settings were on very high right there, so I'm very sorry about that.
Yes, so like I said, every dollar is appreciated, every view is appreciated, and every thank you is appreciated. As we are just about ready to go here for the start of the second quarter. We're knotted up at 2-2.
Face off right now with the Spartan logo. As Jacob said, the very different face off comes to the Immaculata girls team, and we got another stoppage here. The officials in their raincoat outfit, best dressed on the field right now, to prevent themselves from getting wet. A lot of stoppages here from them in this game, and we got another one.
Oh, I almost had it.
And this is a great shot of one of our officials in that attire that he's wearing. As I said, very well prepared for the elements.
The score bug on lacrosse is a bit more convoluted than the baseball one, but
That's all right. I'll pick up the shot for you. Immaculata with possession right now after winning the ground ball. And after the stop, gets it poked away from them. And great play there by North Brunswick, and they're going the other way. North Brunswick trying to break the midfield pressure and get it into Immaculata's defensive end, and they do. A 2-2 game here with 11:19 left in the second period. Immaculata looking for their 5th win in the Skyline Conference from the first year from their head coach, Josh Horta.
all right, I think we did it. All right, we did it. We got the quarter up, and we got the clock set once again. So we are back in action.
Just a beautiful day here at Theo Riddick Field, Jacob, isn't it? It's on the beautiful gray turf that we have. It's 72 degrees and sunny out here.
Yes.
With a little bit of downpours in between. But we couldn't ask for a better day being inside and watching the game from a warm, cozy place in the Immaculata. I would call this the hallway/locker room. And if we had a camera on us to show you guys the angle, it'd be a pretty funny picture in here.
Oh, we actually.
Oh.
We do have it. So we'll just
switch real quick.
We'll do that. So we're chilling here in the newly designed football locker room, largely built in part from the Unitas Caritas funds. So, that is very much appreciated. And I know all the folks at home are very much appreciative of Patrick's Jim Nance Masters-esque start of the second quarter there.
That's a great compliment from you, Jacob. I haven't seen you in a while, but to be giving me flowers like this is truly means dear to me. Another whistle here.
Yeah.
Running out of whistles.
Well, of course, as a newly tenured employee of the school, you have made yourself quite the person over here at Immaculata.
And look at this angle we have. We forgot to shout her out from Serafina Rosati, our student that helps us out with the broadcast. She does a wonderful job, and that's the shot we're getting from her. So just a shout out to Serafina, who is a big part of the UCTV team.
Always very much appreciative of her efforts. And
whistle there before that shot. I don't know if they're going to count it. They're going to give it a free shot, I think it's called in lacrosse.
Mm-hmm. Let me just pull up Chat GPT real quick.
Another whistle here. And
that one finds the back of the net for North Brunswick. They take a 3-2 lead here in the second quarter with 8 minutes and 40 seconds remaining.
Yeah, we have 2 goals in the game so far from that free shot penalty position. And this time North Brunswick strikes.
I'm not sure how often the make percentages of a shot like that, in relevance to, how often you expect someone to make a free throw or a penalty kick, but I would have to assume that it is reasonably high considering they basically get a free run-in on the goal.
Very high. And another whistle stops this. North Brunswick's going to get the ball.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a brief timeout. Looks like a North Brunswick player was down on the field for a little bit.
This rain right now in my headset, Jacob, is very soothing. I could take a nap right now. This takes me on the Christmas couch, opening some presents and seeing that sound. Everyone puts it on. The picture of the fireplace and the burning of wood.
Yeah, this channel has unintentionally become
this is
an
ASMR
channel. Yeah,
definitely.
So.
Stay awake, folks, if you're watching the game. I know. can hear it on my headset. You're probably hearing it at home.
There's just scintillating action going on here. As
Nice save there by Runyon.
Yes.
It's a little ground ball shot, hard to save. Just got a piece of it and knocked it away.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think another differentiating aspect between the girls and boys lacrosse game is the boys use a kind of a white ball, dirty white ball, obviously, because it rolls around, and I think it makes it a bit harder to see in relativeness to the girls. They use a pretty yellow lacrosse ball, and you know, I think as far as a shot coming in, that kind of color differential makes a tad bit of a difference.
Especially the differences of other sports like high school shot clocks with lacrosse, college lacrosse. They have a shot clock when they get into the defensive zone when they're on the attacking. So when they miss a shot, the close call, like close ball of the offensive player. In high school, I'm unsure if they have that shot clock that, you know, you can maintain an offensive possession for the whole game, basically. I don't know if there's a rule.
Well, like we've been at a couple boys lacrosse games, and you know, just the general consensus has been they are pretty conservative with Immaculata specifically is pretty conservative with their offensive sets, and they do take quite a bit of time off the clock. So I don't really think there's any specific regulations in place. You know, it's quite familiar of the. You made a big point about this during basketball season, the fact that there's no high school shot clock either, which kind of affects the pace of play of the game and also overall time of possession for each team. But other than one goal from a few minutes ago, both Immaculata and North Brunswick have kind of just been getting cardio up and down the middle of the fields.
Yeah, pretty even pace from both teams. I mean, 2 of the goals we saw were coast to coast. One player taking it the whole way and splitting the defense, and then the other 2 goals we saw were free shots. So pretty even match right now, 3-2 score. We got to see who's going to break away. My thoughts on it is someone's going to score multiple goals here to end the second quarter or period in lacrosse, and hopefully it's our Spartans.
It's a bold prediction, Cotton. We'll see how it plays off. But no, I do definitely agree with that. And, you know, you were almost right, as North Brunswick had a
just missed an opportunity there, right out of her stick.
Yeah. And, you know, I know you were making there's a 5-hole there for North Brunswick. They extend their lead to 4-2. 4 minutes and 54 seconds left to go in the second quarter.
Good setup there from North Brunswick. Pass straight across the net. Was able to finish on Runyon. As I was saying earlier, I hope it's our Spartans, but not off to a good start with North Brunswick here striking again in the second quarter.
North Brunswick has scored 2 goals so far in this quarter, to only Immaculata 0. Immaculata is going to look to try and answer here. So that one gets popped back. Immaculata controls possession over midfield. Quickly taking it down midfield is Sandborg. She passes it into a wide open player. And it looks like that one sneaks in. Number 6, Olivia Marino, the junior, puts that one in. A very quick offensive possession for the Spartans and score to get them back within 1.
Yeah, what a way to strike back there from the Spartans. Winning a face-off and taking one pass, outlet pass, and finishing it off. Pulls it a little closer here, 4-3.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure exactly how they get to defensive sets. I'm not sure how exactly they get to defensive sets when they come off the face-off, but Sandborg just ran straight down the pipe and found Marino on the right side wide open, and she just put an easy shot in the front left corner of the net. Great
shot here of a face-off coming up.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Great job by Serafina on the camera work.
Yep, so we got number 14 Victoria Melick in there. That one's on the ground. Looks like it was initially controlled by Lada, and they will take it up down the right side of the field. We're going to have more whistles. Looks like they're going to swing them back up to the top, and we're back in offensive sets once again. Immaculata right around the 25-yard line, about 20 yards out from the goal. Working the top of the key. North Brunswick is in their complete defensive set now, and Immaculata is going to run a couple of their plays, see if they can get another one in the back of the net and equalize this score. As they're going to run this one out behind the net and draw one of the lawn stick defensemen back there. Try to swing it around to the other side. Advancing in on the goal by herself. And that one gets put in by Immaculata. Number 50, Gillian Rothke, the senior, puts that one in the back of the net and equalizes the score up at 4-4. So, Pat, Immaculata quickly back even once again.
Yeah, so my prediction may be coming right. Great 2 possessions by Immaculata, and it all starts with winning that face-off. They won it 2 in a row and got possession, and they were able to take advantage of it and tie this game up at 4. Good game going right now.
Yeah, Immaculata, after going down 2 goals, has tied the game up with North Brunswick not even getting a possession in yet. Looks like the referee is having a chat with a couple of the girls down in the left corner. Not sure exactly what in regards to.
Yeah, just a lot of stoppages in this game so far in the first half.
Yeah.
And, hey, the guys, if they're going to be dressed like that, they got to put on a show. So this first half has definitely not had a shortage of time in it. And we got a good game, though. 4-4. 3:55 left.
They're going to give Immaculata the possession once again. They're going to go on the offensive, taking it right out the gut. The Sandborg, she finds her way back to the right side of the net. Quick pass over and a trip. It's Isabella Rodriguez down. Looks like she might have caught something to the face. And just like you were mentioning before, Patrick, we've found ourselves in another bit of stoppage. We'll hope she's okay. Looks like we have the Watson. Is that Watson out there? The Watson's truck coming in?
That is Watson is already there and attentive to the situation. Just a rough fall, maybe a little push from behind. Looks like they called a penalty on it. Let's hope she's okay.
Yeah, I believe Immaculata undoubtedly will have a penalty shot coming up from inside the box. And, like you mentioned, our very own Greg Watson, head athletic trainer, out there, doing what he does best. So with that in mind, we're knotted up at 4-4. 3 minutes, 31 seconds left to go in this first half. We'll be back with you momentarily here on UCTV. And there we see Mr. Greg Watson walking off, the junior, number 3. Isabella Rodriguez, she looks to be okay. As she walks off the field on her own power, she looks like she might be all right for now. And Immaculata, at a tie game, 4-4. Looks like they're going to hold offensive possession right around the net.
Yeah, it looks like they called a penalty, and it's going to be one of those free shot opportunities, I believe. And Immaculata, looks to capitalize here off of that foul/injury. And let's see if they can put one away.
Yep, making sure all the laces are tied up in a double knot and, crisp to a bow on the shoes.
We might have to interview the referees in the raincoats for the halftime show because they've sure been cinematic today.
Looks like Immaculata was deciding who they were going to give the ball to for the shot, and it looks like they've settled on number 31, Avery Seltzer, the freshman. She's going to take on the shot. And that was a good block there. Immaculata picks it up again. Trying to move inside is Melik. And we have another referee's whistle.
Yeah, good job there from North Brunswick stopping the free shot initially, but looks like Immaculata is going to get another one. Second opportunity to try to put one away.
This time it's the sophomore Victoria Melik on the chance. She drives in, finds top bar Bardowski, puts that one in the back of the net and gives Immaculata a 5-4 lead here in the first half. Victoria Melik puts her team up. 2 minutes and 58 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. So Immaculata down 4-2 just a few game minutes ago. Now finds themselves in the lead once again at 5-4.
The backwards announcer jinx is working right now. Immaculata taking advantage of good play here in the second quarter, going ahead 5-4. Multiple face-off wins here for the Spartans, but North Brunswick's going to win this one.
Immaculata only scored they scored 4 goals in their last contest, and they've already exceeded that in this first half here. They had, I'm looking at their schedule, they had a brutal loss to Warren Hills the first of this month. 15-14. Tough to score that many goals and give it up. So that's
a double-digit heartbreaker.
Yeah. So Immaculata definitely has.
I'm sorry, but this is also another great shot of our referees. Another stoppage. I had to show them off.
Immaculata has been very dispersed in their scoring totals in their last few games. They've scored in their last 5, 4, 15, 10, 14, and 4. So you just never know what you're going to get each game, it seems. But Immaculata so far seems to be like they're on a decent offensive pace relative to their season so far.
Another stoppage with a shot in front of the net, free penalty shot.
North Brunswick.
Right through the wicket, right through the 5-hole.
North Brunswick is finding luck with the 5-hole through the legs of goalie for Immaculata. North Brunswick evens this one back up at 5 with 1 minute and 47 seconds left to go in the second quarter.
It's just really surprising from a lacrosse standpoint. For all the games we've done so far this year, I've never seen how many goals are being scored today on that free penalty shot. I can count 4 or 5 today between both teams, and we're only in the second quarter.
At least. I do have to say, Patrick, I think up until the point where you noted the game was moving a little bit slow, I actually thought it was moving a little bit quickly, but ever since you said that, it definitely has taken a more tempered pace on the score clock. As the possession is finally picked up by the Spartans, they have an open run on the right side. Marino passes it up to Sandborg. She's working the back of the net. We have the clock running. We're just at about a minute to play as Immaculata is trying to move in, score a goal here. And North Brunswick takes it on over. They're getting this one across midfield. They have numbers on the open run, moving up the middle. And it looks like they're going to... We have a whistle. We're going to make sure exactly what that is. Looks like we have a free goal here. North Brunswick gets ready to go on that. Good block there by Runyon. North Brunswick picks it up off the recoil. Open shot Good save by Runyon. That one's on the floor in front of the goal. Runyon's going to pick it up. Tries to send it out. North Brunswick picks it up and puts that one in the back of the net. Runyon with a great stretch of saves and trying to throw that one back out to her teammates. Catches the end of a stick of a North Brunswick player who immediately picks it up and puts that one in. North Brunswick takes a 1-goal lead. .25 seconds remain in the half. And the face-off to come. That one's in the air. On the ground, North Brunswick picks it up. They have a run coming. That one is out away on the right side. 8 seconds remain in the quarter. 2-1. That ball is on the ground and nothing to come of it. That is our final here for the first half. North Brunswick 6, Immaculata 5. We're here at the end of the first half. And I believe we might have a interview coming up with head coach of the Spartans, Josh Horta. So stay tuned. We will bring you that momentarily if that does in fact happen.
Hello.
You gotta go grab him. He's at midfield. Just say, hey, coach.
Welcome back to UCTV, presented by Unitas Caritas. We are just about underway for the start of the second half here at Theo Riddick Field. North Brunswick versus Immaculata. North Brunswick boasts a 1-point lead here, 6-5. We're ready to go.
Yeah, logistically, we try to bring you a little halftime interview, but sometimes logistics don't work, and sometimes you gotta go with the flow, and we were trying to bring you an interview, and it just didn't work out, so sorry about that, folks.
Yeah, the halftime is a little bit short. Although, fortunately for everyone, it looks like the rain has definitely let up a little. I saw you out there, so can you give us a little bit of a weather report?
Yeah, so I was out there practicing my 9-iron swing for the golf course tomorrow. I played yesterday, and I wasn't hitting the ball too well. I was about hitting it 295 off the tee and struggling from 60 to 100 yards in. That laugh might have been sarcastic in the first half of my speech, Jacob, but yes, I did hit the ball pretty well yesterday off the tee, and couldn't hit a mid-range shot. So I walked outside back to the store. I was walking outside and just practicing my 9-iron swing, short yardage club, and hopefully I'll play better tomorrow.
It's gonna rain all week. I'm not sure. Where are you playing?
Greenville Golf Course tomorrow, 3:30.
Oh yeah. Are you on the Immaculata golf team or something?
I am helping out on the Immaculata golf team.
This guy just does it all, man.
I am. I'm a jack of all trades.
Love that for you.
Thank you, sir.
Well, we're only a minute and a half in. Nothing so spectacular so far. Immaculata shooting on the close end of the net here. They took they had a chance at keeping this score neutralized in the first half, but an unfortunate late goal for North Brunswick has allowed them a 1-goal lead here in the start of the second half. And Immaculata is jostling for the ball right around midfield, and North Brunswick picks it up and is on the attack across midfield. Looks like they have even numbers. North Brunswick's going to pull it out, set back up once again, and make sure that they get back in formation. So for North Brunswick, we've seen a swirl of different shots made by different players. It's not been all one, but a large majority of those goals have come off the penalty shots right around the net. So we haven't seen too many goals off in play. Looks like we're going to have some talks on the sidelines by the referees. Wish we had our mic cam over there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, sometimes the crowd mic is a blessing and a curse, because for all the good audio we pick up is some bad audio, and I'm sure this conversation isn't too great as the North Brunswick coach is getting told to go back to her sideline.
I'm going to try to listen in. This is a bit more fiery of a conversation than I expected. I'm not really sure what this is necessarily about. Greg Watson making his way over there to play Peacemaker.
Yeah,
like
Greg is Greg Watson with the athletic department stepping over there and in good justice getting that conversation resolved, and we're back to play.
Righting the ship. Making sure we bring peace and unity to the land, just like the new Pope. How about Pope Leo, huh, Patrick?
Yep, first American Pope. We were talking about him earlier before the broadcast, and he's got a new Instagram now. So be sure to follow that, Pope Leo.
Yeah, make sure you follow Pope Leo and Unitas Caritas on Instagram or Unitas Caritas Foundation on Facebook. Looks like we've found ourselves back in some regulated game action as North Brunswick runs a nice little set there and gets a shot over the middle, going low on the ground ball once again. And while I was watching that conversation on the sidelines, I completely neglected the clock, so that's on me. 8 minutes and 54 seconds left to play in the third quarter. One more thing I was going to make about the Pope, Patrick, was that, right after he got elected from the conclave as Pope, it came out that he was, in fact, a White Sox fan. And
Yeah,
seen
God
at
bless him. That's
Yeah.
why he's made to be Pope, because he's a White Sox fan. And I saw that video in 2005 when the White Sox were in the World Series that Pope Leo was in the crowd, and it just amazes me how someone found that. I don't know if that was AI or just insane luck, but someone found a picture of Pope Leo, well, actually on video from a national broadcast of him at the White Sox game in the 9th inning with 2 outs too. So just crazy to think of. And that's the Vatican has never had the American media tied into them that much, and that's probably why they never wanted an American pope. It's been rumored because of the American media and all the interviews with his brother and everything. It's crazy how our media works.
Yeah, well, if any professional sports team needs a super above earth blessing, it is a White Sox fan.
Another quick goal from North Brunswick.
North Brunswick has come out with a passion in the second half, scoring 2 straight goals to extend their lead to 8-5 here in the third quarter. 8 minutes and 26 seconds left to go. North Brunswick has been good on the control with the face-off so far, and also capitalizing on their opportunities when they get in the offensive sets. And surprisingly enough, the one referee's hood is down and has the jacket a little bit unzipped, so we can see some of the stripes now. So, yeah, it looks like Immaculata is going to take over here at midfield. Handling it up top is number 23, Abigail Hufat, the senior. And Immaculata running it up the left side, moving behind net. Looks like they're going to swing that around. Good camera shot by our very own.
There's the stripes.
Yeah.
Great camera shot there by Serafina.
North Brunswick playing more of a consolidated defensive set, it seems, around goal here. And another referee stoppage. Taking a listen in here. Positioning them in where they need to be. And we're off once again. Immaculata brings it up to the middle of the field. And not to anyone's surprise, we have another whistle and temporary stoppage for realignment. Fortunately, the clock is running during this one, so.
This has to be 6 or 7 of these free possessions in front of the keeper so far in this game.
Well, this one is a
little further back, right?
This one was a tad bit different. It was not necessarily a run-in, as it was like a free kick outside the box, you know, in footy. But Immaculata, with probably one of their longer offensive possessions of the day so far. That ball gets loose on the ground. Jockeying for it is both teams.
Another stoppage.
Immaculata fighting hard, keeps it back behind the net. Poor pass leads to a ground ball. And that whistle eventually allows North Brunswick to overtake it. And we're finally getting some free running up the middle of the field. Immaculata playing stout defense, keep that across. And more whistles. We're going to look in. Exactly.
It's like Immaculata's going to the box for a penalty.
Yeah, maybe too aggressive of a check. We get the girls repositioned. We're off once again. Quick stoppage. North Brunswick doesn't get. Oh. Looks like we got a little bit of theatrics going on the sideline. You know.
Yeah, so how about those New York Knicks last night, Jacob? 3-1 in the series. My goodness.
Hold on, I will get to that point in a moment, but we're a bit of ways away, necessarily like from the field and the sidelines, but you know, just from what I've been able to hear and what I've been watching on camera, this game's a bit more chippy than you think, Patrick. So I think might be brewing for something interesting. There's North Brunswick making a run alongside the middle again. Pacing their offense at the top. Immaculata is going to fall back into their defensive set. We're going to have another whistle. Definitely been a different dynamic so far in this second half. A lot more stoppages and realignments. So North Brunswick is going to get started again as they go in realignment. And right off the realignment there, North Brunswick settles in a quick shot. Makes that 9-5.
Yeah, 3 straight goals for North Brunswick here in the third period. Immaculata is really searching to find something here. North Brunswick just gaining possession and capitalizing. Last couple times they've been down, they have scored. And Immaculata just needs to get the ball back in their end and not play the theatrics out here because this game's getting chippy and stopping with the whistle.
Yeah, ironically, it seems like the tensions have flared up a little more, but the respective offensive possessions have cooled. So a little bit of a interesting dichotomy going on between the two. As Immaculata takes immediate possession. And they have an open run down the left side. North Brunswick seals that one off nicely. Immaculata moving across the top. Gets that one picked out of the net, and North Brunswick coming down the left side.
Just another costly turnover there from the Spartans, getting possession in their attacking zone, and North Brunswick making a great defensive play and poking it loose. And another whistle.
It looks like they sent one off for Immaculata.
I might miss my tea time tomorrow, how this is going.
Do you actually have a tea time tomorrow?
May or may not, depending on the weather.
Well, North Brunswick runs this one back in play. They get across midfield. They have some numbers coming along the left side into the red zone.
The Lady Spartans definitely searching for a stop here, but that pass goes right in front, poked away. Good deflection, but allowing too easy of passes right in front of the goal. Runyon has no chance if they're going to get the ball in front of there.
That one gets sent in the back of the net, but we have that shot waved off just before. I'm going to reset this in for the run-in shots. He tries to go on the ground with it. Good block there by Runyon. That ball goes up and behind the net. And Immaculata is going to run with it.
There's the stop they were looking for. Now they got to go down the other end and capitalize off of this. Down 4, getting late here in the third quarter.
You know, not to sound too obvious, but Immaculata is going to want to look to shorten this lead, preferably before the end of the third quarter. We'll see what they do as they got a lead on coming across the right side. Good move there. Good save.
Oh, it's off the Piper.
Yeah.
It got deflected right off the crossbar. It's good take there by the Lady Spartans. They need more of that to get back in this game.
Immaculata looking for second chance efforts, trying to get that one in the middle. North Brunswick playing a good defense across so far. Immaculata running the middle. Pass goes Oury, out away. They recover nicely. Pass back up top. Spartans are going to reset their formation. Good double teams up at the top. And you can't see this, but North Brunswick is having their players run laps on the sidelines.
That might be JV getting ready to play after them.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a good amount of time left. This fourth quarter, you should saw the whole fourth, I believe. I would be pretty disappointed if they only played 3 quarters and I got that wrong. But Immaculata still on the offensive possession, definitely way more laid back offensive possessions in this third quarter in comparison to the first half. They have had a couple of extra shot opportunities, but nothing has come so far for them in this third quarter.
Another opportunity here in front of the net after the call. And they capitalize. Immaculata gets a little closer on one of those free play shots. 9-6 North Brunswick lead.
Immaculata finds their touch here in the second half. That was number 36, the freshman, Christiana Washington, for the Spartans. Getting them on the board here in the second half. Third quarter, Spartans down 6-9, just over 1 minute to play. So we get ready immediately once again for the face-off at midfield. That one is skied up towards the North Brunswick goal, still tripling around. That one's eventually picked up by Sandborg. She's good across midfield, get that into the offensive territory for the Spartans. Rodriguez running it up the right side. Tries to go on a run, and they have called number 10 on North Brunswick for a illegal shove, and they're going to send her off.
This would be a big opportunity for the Immaculata Lady Spartans to get this within 2 after the third quarter. They have a good chance here with possession deep in North Brunswick's end.
Immaculata now has the numbers and the location and a potential opportunity to try and narrow this lead once again. Tossed in behind the net. Immaculata had a decent look
Just
there.
couldn't handle that.
Yes.
Good look in front of the net. Penalty here. There's stoppage in play.
Yeah, that's gonna be North Brunswick's ball. They're gonna have a chance to do a run up with about 15 seconds left. Immaculata's gonna need to attack that one out of the net. And a quick whistle there. It's gonna keep North Brunswick with the ball, but we're running down to within 5 seconds, so I can't imagine anything will happen in this quarter. That's the end of 3. North Brunswick leads the Spartans 9-6 here at Theo Riddick Field.
Before Jake, you get into talking about the recap, I think there's going to be a penalty coming here with 1 second left. Immaculata is going to get tagged in the penalty box to start the fourth quarter, something I picked on at the end. And something else is happening here at Theatrics.
Looks like she just got a red card. I think she just Looks like that was number 6, the junior Olivia Marino, that just got sent off for the game.
Wow, a crazy turn of events. I picked up after you were talking about that. Some eye I had on that was the lead up to it. Just
Yeah, I didn't see what happened. What
an
did you
uncontrolled game here with these stoppages, and I saw a late check to end the third quarter. I didn't really see what was happening in between, but this game has just had a crazy build up, and this may be the official sending a message to both teams.
Yeah, it looks like that was Coach Josh Horter that went up to the referees to try to figure out what was going on with his players. And you can see him there. He's going to have a talk with them and try to get them right for this last quarter. They're only down 3 and they have a chance. We're just about ready to go here in the fourth quarter. We're waiting for the face-off. Looks like the referee's just having a little bit of conversation, making sure they're on the same page as far as...
It's mostly a handle on the game now, of trying for the fourth quarter, keeping a handle on the game, because this game has been stopped every 5 minutes, and they may have just sent a message to both teams with that ruling to end the third quarter.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what the fourth quarter has in store here. 6-9's the score. It's anybody's ball game at this point. And Immaculata starts off with possession. They get well into North Brunswick territory already. They're going to make something happen. That one gets put in the back of the net. I did not even see that one go in. My goodness.
Yeah, very quick start there from the Lady Spartans. Coming out in the fourth quarter, Coach Horter with a good message there, pressing the pace, getting one back, only down 2. That's way doable with so much time left here in the fourth quarter.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but it looks like that was number 26, Bridget Kennedy, the senior, that put that one in the back of the net for the Spartans. And they score in the first 15 seconds of the fourth quarter and make this 1-2. So, just like I said before, this is, in fact, anybody's game. Ready to go once again at midfield for the face-off. That one's up and quickly swept up by the Spartans running down the right side.
A big face-off win coming off that goal.
And a whistle on the run there. That was Christiana Washington making that move.
We're going to have another one of our free shots.
Immaculata bench, you can hear getting a little rowdy. Looks like they're excited. Immaculata's going to be in good position once again to get something going here on the offensive side. Washington runs in, tries the ground ball, and a nice scoop and a beauty for the Raiders.
Yeah, it was a great scoop save by their goalie. Immaculata had another opportunity to get back to within one. North Brunswick makes a big play. Immaculata looks like they got the ball back, but now we got a ground ball ensuing.
Yeah. Immaculata is overwhelmingly vocal on all positives that they're going on so far, so definitely there was a instilling of confidence and energy that Coach Horta put into the Lady Spartans during that fourth quarter conversation.
Yeah, bad pass there. Tries to save it, and great hustle there. Saves it inbounds. That would have been a bad possession lost by the Spartans.
Yeah, Sandborg just keeps that one in play. Hands it on over to Rodriguez, and she's going to work at the top of the key. Good running. Players all over her. And she's going to get a call there. That was Melik running in.
Any relation to Aaron Melik, may I ask?
I don't believe so. I think it's different spellings. But again, I could be wrong. Didn't do my research beforehand. Was stuck at the car dealership trying to get new tires, so there was a little bit of issues with that today.
You had a very nice Uber driver, I heard, picking you up from that tire station.
Mr. Frauenheim, 5-star Uber, so of course. Although it is the same. You were asking about Melik, it is the same spelling. I would assume there potentially is a relation, but I'm not sure.
North Brunswick gets that one past Runyon as you were looking up the spelling. Increases his lead to 10-7.
Yes, Immaculata had cut the lead to 2 here in the fourth quarter and had a potential to cut it down to 1 on a good offensive set, but North Brunswick makes a stout defensive stop and quickly gets a goal back to regain the 3-goal lead here in the fourth quarter. We're going to have a timeout called, and we're going to have a break here with 9 minutes and 18 seconds. We'll be back with you momentarily. And we're back here at Theo Riddick Field. 9 minutes and 18 seconds left to play in the fourth quarter. North Brunswick boasts a 10-7 lead over your Immaculata Spartans. At midfield for the face-off. That ball is on the ground. Smart kick away for North Brunswick. They're going to take over the offensive possession. They're going to have numbers running down the right side.
A solid ground ball pickup, and they take advantage of it and put one past Runyon. 2 quick goals from North Brunswick, increasing their lead, now up 4 goals.
Great run, great shot, North Brunswick there on the offensive possession coming out of the timeout with authority. 7-11, Pat's favorite bunch of numbers.
Oh, yeah, 7-11.
59 seconds.
If you're a UCTV fan and watch us seasonally, you'll be hearing the 7-11 call throughout football season, which is one of the signature calls in this booth.
Looks like we're going to have to make our way down the street before football season and see if we can secure a sponsorship, because we've already got plenty of complimentary footage for them. As Immaculata finds themselves a wide open goal of their own. Number 16, Helena Santalanza, the senior for the Spartans, giving them their 8th goal of the game and bringing it back within 3. Pretty high-powered offensive game that we've seen so far from both teams. One of the higher-scoring contests for both of them this season. Immaculata is going to make themselves a run once again. They're going to have numbers coming down the offensive side. And that ball is loose on the ground out towards the left side. North Brunswick is going to make a quick pick up and turn that one over. North Brunswick getting themselves across midfield. That ball's loose on the ground. And we have a referee's whistle. North Brunswick's going to hold possession. They're going to come up the right side. North Brunswick's definitely going to play more conservative on their offense, as we're just under 8 minutes to play in the quarter, and they boast a 3-goal lead over the Spartans so far. As they come to a complete standstill behind the net. Not too much defensive pressure applied by the Spartans just yet. Now they're closing in as they try to move that to the middle of the net. Good little pass in. North Brunswick's going to try to make something happen. They're going to pull that one out and try to run it to the left side. No good on the shot there. That one is wide left. North Brunswick closest to the ball. They're going to keep that one going. Trying to throw it behind Runyon. Makes a high IQ move and picks that one up over from the back of the net. Now Immaculata on the offensive, taking a run down the right side. Open player. Pass was not that great. Over to Santalanza. Sandborg had picked it up right around the offensive net. Took it all the way down, and unfortunate error and turnover for the Spartans, as North Brunswick is now coming up on their own. The ball's loose on the ground right around the 40-yard line. Immaculata playing a stout defense, trying to keep it in North Brunswick's offensive.
All right, we got the score bug back up, Jacob. Took me a little while, but we're rolling now. Sorry for my silencio.
Oh, no problem. It's definitely...
Did you pick up any Italian out there?
Well, I learned a good deal of Spanish.
Española.
But I took 3 years of Spanish here at Immaculata, and Italian and Spanish are not sister languages per se. They say more cousin languages, so there's a lot of relativeness between the two. So.
Did you tell people you're from the New York area, and they're like, "Oh, let me see your accent"?
Oh, New York, yeah, New York City. Well, I mean, quite frankly, it actually doesn't even extend that far.
Is that what they ask for? Like in Europe, they're like, "Where are you from?" In the U.S., and you say like close to New York, you give them big cities. Is that what saying? I can say I'm from New Jersey.
They were more just asking.
I'm from New Jersey, eh?
They were more just asking if you're from America or not. But I do gotta say, I picked up a very, very wild tip from an Italian resident while I was out there. I was actually out in a leather shop in Rome the day before I left to go back home. And you know what the guy said to me? He said, "You know how you could tell an American tourist in Europe?"
Say it with the accent.
Other than
you gotta put some flavor to the story.
I'm not. This is not an impersonation show. He said, "You know how you tell an American, other than the way they dress and how they talk and how they walk and you know how they act and yada yada. I was like, oh yeah, how? He said it's the way you stand, and I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, Europeans, you know, Italians, whatever. You walk a lot, you walk everywhere. The way they stand on both their feet. He said Americans lean. You know, you'll lean on the wall, you lean on the counter, you'll lean at the bus stop, or if you have nothing to lean on, you'll stand on one leg more than the other. And I was like, you know, that's very interesting, and you know, I guess it has a lot to do with.
I would have interjected that story and be like, first of all, sir, Americans sit. We picked the better option than standing. We find the easy way.
Well, that's exactly the thing. We're more accustomed to a sedentary office culture, or conversely, you know, if you're in the hospitality business or whatnot, you're on your feet all day.
And we're very accustomed to vegetable oil too.
Yeah, seed oils,
which is non-existent in Europe.
And food dyes. You know,
yes.
Love me a nice glass of red 40. But yeah, so he said that, and I was like, you know, that's very interesting. I do probably lean all the time. So,
did he say it in a nice takeaway there from Immaculata? But a whistle is blown, and Coach Horter does not like this call. You can hear the displeasure right from our booth.
You know, it seems like Coach Horter has pretty good posture over there. As I was telling the standing story, he doesn't seem to have a noticeable lean in certain aspects. But yeah, so
you take a look at Coach Horter right now on the top right of your screen. That's the American posture, I feel like.
Yeah,
hands on the hips.
There's a little bit of a lean going on. But yeah, so the guy said that, and I was like, okay. So I really took a look at it my last day. You know, you could tell what a European is, because you know, they always have very slim fit clothing. They're very neat and proper, and obviously speak a fluent, quick Italian. And I did notice that a lot of them did stand straight up. There was not a lot of leaners, you know, even when you're on the ATAC, which is the Rome Metro bus system. You know, they'll hold on to the rails and they'll just stand straight. You know, conversely, if you ride you know, like the path or the subways in New York City, you're either not holding the handlebars or you're putting your
the Dallas International Airport riding the Airbus.
Yeah, you're putting your long sleeve over your hand to carry those rails, because I don't think I've ever seen someone come around with a Clorox wipe on like a subway bus in New York City, but I actually as I'm going to put a cap on this story because there's 2 minutes left in the game. You know, I'm not sure how many people tune in for the game versus us just chatting about nonsense. But yeah, all in all, good trip. Italy was fun. Fact of the matter is, check your posture next time you sand and see how true it is. Anyways, just under 2 minutes here. Spartans are still down 3 goals. And there is definitely both vocal and physical displeasure from both sides so far.
Yeah, just looking like a minute and 20 left. There is still time for the Spartans to mount a late heroic comeback, but just couldn't get it done so far. I'm not going to speak too soon because there is 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Trying to create a turnover here.
Yeah, Spartans are definitely going to have to play a very good defense like they did there.
I would characterize this game as a very emotional game, to put it into perspective, just on both ends, you know, with the stoppages and the whistle was blowing all day, which kind of totally showed you what kind of game we had. And as the whistle blows again,
as the clock falls just under 1 minute. And it looks like Immaculata is going to call a timeout with 55 seconds left to play. They're going to be in offensive territory. So Immaculata is definitely moonlighting on this game, but you know, you never know what can happen. They have a valiant opportunity to score here and get it back within 2, but this is probably for them going to be the most crucial possession that they have. So we'll be back with you momentarily, and we'll see what coach and the Spartans draw up. Welcome back to UCTV. 55 seconds left. Spartans with the offensive possession. And I think it's pretty evident that they're going to need to score on this possession. So we'll see what they've drawn up out of the timeout. A very valiant shot attempt there and a good save by North Brunswick. Karina Sandborg was on her own run there.
Yeah, Karina put on a good run. Good shot attempt, but that might be the last opportunity for the Spartans to draw closer. As that was a great look in front of the goalie and a great save there by North Brunswick, coming up big and stopping the Spartan comeback.
Yeah, just like we talk about, like how the end of college basketball and NBA games are with all the timeouts. We're in a similar position here as another timeout's called with 36 seconds left to play. North Brunswick's going to have possession, so Immaculata is going to want to have to do something here to make a defensive stop.
And what we say, I always used to say it, Jake, this one may be too far out of reach, but I did watch Tracy McGrady score 13 points in 30 seconds, so nothing is out of reach in the realm of sports.
That is true, but, in relativeness to a lacrosse field or a football field, basketball field isn't, basketball court isn't that big, and they only have 8 seconds to get the ball over half court. So
yeah, 8 seconds in the NBA, 10 in college.
Yeah, right. I'm not sure if there's like a icing type call in lacrosse like they have in hockey, but I don't know if you're in a position like this if
It's like the soccer stall, right, where you put the ball in the corner.
Well, but I was also going to say, if you have defenders all over you, you could just chuck the ball all the way across the other side of the field, and then it's going to take them 20 seconds to run across the field. I feel like you could effectively end the game just by throwing it all the way down. As we're running down to 25 seconds, clock is going to continue running. So I guess they know better than me because inducing a foul and having a little bit of a stall technique is going to work wonders for them. And this clock is going to run out under 10 seconds. I think we could put a pin in this one. As that is our final here at Immaculata High School over at Theo Riddick Field. North Brunswick takes down the Immaculata Lady Spartans 11-8. Immaculata falls to 4-9 on the season. North Brunswick advances up to 9-7 on the season. So that's your final here. We had, albeit a quite interesting game with, some theatrics, lots of stoppages. Pat, what's your 4-1-1 on the game today?
Yeah, I just thought the Immaculata Lady Spartans didn't do a great job of really centering themselves and staying in the game. They got a little mixed up in the theatrics that were happening, but it's a very young team and they'll learn and grow from it. Some impressive individual efforts from Immaculata, some nice paths to the goal, good finishes, but just overall just didn't do a good job of staying in the game. And North Brunswick comes out here with a win on a 72 and sunny day at Theo Riddick Field.
Yeah, I think that just about does it from us here at UCTV, presented by Unitas Caritas. Give a quick shout out to the UC Foundation once more. Founded in 2018 by a group of proud Spartan alumni, dedicated to preserving the proud Spartan tradition, helping with scholarships, capital improvements of the school, and all other things of the like. So if you'd like to join, please visit us over at www.unitascaritas.com. Click and select the featured link, join the club. All it takes is a $19.66 monthly donation to help keep the Spartan tradition alive. I got a little mixed up when I was saying that, because as I was saying that, all the players immediately ran back on the field and they're in the set position, as you can see, but it's for the JV game. And let me tell you, I mean, my goodness, they waste no time getting involved. So we only cover varsity, fortunately. Looks like our next game is going to be on Thursday back here at Immaculata Theo Riddick Field, as the Lady Spartans Lacrosse, as you see on your screen right here, will be taking on Stewart Country Day School. And well, you have it, folks. It is also senior night. Make sure to tune back in with us at 4:30 on Thursday, May 15th for senior night. So that'll officially do it for us here at UCTV. We thank you once again for joining. I'm Jacob Schmidt alongside my co-host, Patrick Frauenheim, on UCTV. Thank you and good night, everybody.